Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. My name is NCK2310. Yes, for the returning subscribers, welcome back and thank you so much. I don't take it for granted that you always take your time to listen to me. I really do appreciate. And for those that are new, feel at home as well. For the ones who are at the back, welcome as well. Yes, what I do here, I do scrutinize and analyze songs, and especially Kikuyu songs, into English. That's what I do here. So we do scrutinize, analyze the songs. Yes, because we want the whole world to know what we, the Kikuyus, talk about in our songs. Yes, Kikuyu is one of the majority group, tribe in Kenya. Kenya, we have like 42 or 43 tribes, and Kikuyu is one of the majority tribe. And I, NCK2310, I'm a deep Kikuyu. I see Nancy Pira. Hey, Nancy, thank you for coming. Welcome, welcome. Long time. Yes, that's what I do here, scrutinizing and analyzing Kikuyu songs. So without wasting any time, let me dive in and we see the song I've prepared for you. The song today is a Kikuyu song. And Nancy, good evening, everyone from Kenya. Thank you, Nancy. Welcome, welcome. Long time. Nice to see you. The song today is a political song we're going to dwell in and we see what the song has to offer. Welcome and let's dive in. The song says, Kikuyus, including me, we were there and we are still here. Let me repeat again. The Kikuyus were there at the beginning. They were there. And we are still here. We were a target of everyone. Even during the colonial time, we know that Kenya was colonized by the British. And during that time, the British targeted most of those people that they put down, that they eliminated, were Kikuyus. We've always been a target. So in this verse, it's telling us that we, the Kikuyus, we've always been a target. Even during the colony time, we were the target. During Moi time, we were the target. Even now, during Ruto time, we are the target. So hey, we Kikuyus, there's a song reminding us. You should also remind or inform your children that we, the Kikuyus, we've always been a target. We are a target. That's the way it has been, and you should not worry about that. Let's continue on with the song. The song says, the British imprisoned us. They moved us around. We know they used to take our forefathers from this prison, Manyata, to the other one, to where they used to move us around and round and round. But the song says, we are still standing. We are still standing firm. That even if the colonizers were targeting us, even if Moi targeted us, late President Moi, called Moi, he targeted so much the Kikuyus. For those 24 years he was the president, he damaged most of the Kikuyus' businesses. He only selected a few Kikuyu families so that he cannot be told he's against Kikuyus, but he was. We all know that. This song says that during the colony time, the Kikuyus, they were moved around from prison to prison. They were the target. They were being moved around and round. And up to today, hey, Kikuyus, we are still the majority of Kenya, even after having gone all what we went through during the colony time. The song says, everyone was against us, including the colonizers. Just as I've said, we were turned into dust by our colonizers. That means there were so many Kikuyus who were killed, including my grandfather from my mom's side, my dad's side. My dad grew up as a small boy without a father because, as he used to tell us when he was alive, that his dad left with many other people from Lower Kabete to go for the war, and they never returned home. Nobody ever saw their remainings. Nobody ever, nothing. They disappeared like that. And there are so many that went through that. And if you hear most of these stories, it's the Kikuyus that had to go through that. They were gone and never to be seen again. Can you imagine that horror up to today? And up to today, the same things are going on. Now that we have President Ruto, for example, our boys, girls, they've been disappearing with nobody. know where they are. Their families cry day in, day out. The song says, but God blessed us with rain. God made sure that our farms are fertile. That's why if you go to Kikuyu lands, if you go around the central, we have very fertile lands that the soil lovers, God made sure, God knew when he created us that we're going to be a target. We're going to be hated just for no reasons. God made sure that our lands are fertile. The Kikuyu lands, they are fertile. And leave alone that, wherever the Kikuyus go and try to plant something, it comes up. During many, many years, we know that in the Rift Valley, people never used to do any cultivation or stuff like that. We do remember during the stories when Jomo Kenyatta used to say, hey, you cannot just sit down and we are the ones working hard for you in the farms, and they were saying, oh, our lands can't grow. And wait a minute, the moment, for example, the Kikuyus went to those Rift Valley areas, we used to call them Rogoro. Most of the Kikuyus, for example, those Kikuyus in the central areas, we all understand the name Rogoro. It's the Rift Valley areas. And our grandparents, they were told by Mzee Kenyatta, you know what? Because your hands are blessed by God. You can make it. Those Rift Valley areas, those areas they are saying that they cannot grow any plants. They are complaining that their areas are not rich. You as Kikuyus, please, you go there and start to cultivate. And most of our great parents, they moved to those Rift Valley areas and started to do cultivation and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, everything started to grow. So it means the central, I don't mean only the Kikuyus. Let's say the gamer community, the central, we are blessed. Our hands are blessed by God. That even when we start to cultivate where nobody has ever cultivated, plants come up. Look at the coast. There are some areas where the coast people always say, hey, here we can never grow anything. During the Kenyatta time, a lot of Kikuyus moved there. They started to plant, Unbelievable. If you go to some areas in the coast, you'll be surprised how fertile it is. They started to grow all sorts of things. And it grows everything, So it means our hands, we, the gamer community, our hands are blessed. And you should never be ashamed to say you are a gamer, you are a Kikuyu, you are a Kamba, you are a Meru, you are a Embu. We, the gamer community, our hands are blessed by God. Anyway, the song continues to say, my people, don't lose hope. Whatever dries in faith to the body, may God's love remain upon us. Our strength comes from God. That our strength comes from God. Yeah, there we go. That this song is for encouraging us, the gamer community, that even if wherever you are, people talk ill about you just because you are either a Kikuyu, a Kamba, a Meru, an Ebu, don't worry. The song is telling us God is with us. God will remain to be with us. The song says, our strength comes from God. Those people that are led by God can never be destroyed. We, the Kikuyus, were there and we are still here. So it means if you're a Kikuyu, be proud that you are a Kikuyu. Never be ashamed to be a Kikuyu. Sometimes you can ask some people, hey, where are you from? And they're afraid to say where they are from. If you hear some people saying, for example, in the diaspora, for example, you hear someone is from Kenya. Okay, Kenya, yes. And you ask, yeah, okay, from which tribe are you from? It's nothing bad with that. Some people get very upset when you ask them that. The Kikuyus, we are not ashamed. We always go, we are Kikuyus, But other tribes says, it doesn't matter what tribe I am from. We are all Kenyans. Hey, be proud of where you are from. We have so many tribes. Be proud of your tribe. If you are Aluo, say you are Aluo. If you are Aluya, say you are Aluya. If you are whatever, even on top of that, for example, the Luya community or the Kisis, when we meet around, we always joke and say, hey, my Bantu sister, my Bantu brother, because we are That's the fact, you know. So you should never be ashamed to say where you are from. So for those people living in the diaspora, please be proud. Be proud of your roots, because the roots is not only Kenya. Kenya, yes, I'm also from Kenya, but hey, which tribe are you from? Some people think when you ask like that, is that, oh, you are tribal. Why? Nobody should tell me I'm tribal just because I'm saying I'm a Kikuyu. Nobody should tell me I'm tribal just because I dwell most of the times. I scrutinize and analyze the Kikuyu songs because that's the language I understand. You know, Kenya, we have a lot of languages. I don't understand the other tribes' languages. I don't. Okay, so if someone will say, hey, but why you scrutinize or analyze only Kikuyu songs? Hey, it's because I'm a Kikuyu and I love our Kikuyu songs, you know. Anyway, the song continues to say, we the Kikuyus were there and we were there and will still continue to be here. To be blessed are the family of Mombi. We know the story of Gikuyu and Mombi. Those who are not Kikuyus, I can tell you, we have a history of where we, the Kikuyu community, where we came from. You know, I think each tribe have its own story. We, the Kikuyus, we believe that we came from a lady who was called Mombi and a man who was called Gikuyu. And we believe they were the first one to be put down on earth by God. And we believe from them, they bear 9 sons and 9 daughters. You know, that's our belief as Kikuyus. I'm very sure other tribes in Kenya, you also have your own beliefs. But I'm here to explain about us. When we say about our family, you know, our clans, is the sons and daughters of Gikuyu and Mombi, because that's what we believe in. And nobody can take away this belief from us, the Kikuyus, because this is something that was left by us, by our great grandparents. And we believe in that. And we are very proud of our history. We are very proud of what we believe it was. And where the song says, when the people in the world are against us, it's when God blesses us even more. There we go. That even if anybody is against us, for example, if Ruto is against the Kikuyus, that he's firing all Kikuyus from his government, hey, this is a song telling us, Kikuyus, don't worry. Blessings gonna come from God. When other tribes, you know, are talking bad, when someone like, I don't know, Kaucho or whoever he is, standing around on internet and abusing the Kikuyus, saying how the Kikuyus are useless and stuff like that. Here is a song for you if you are a Kikuyu. If your children have blood of the Kikuyus, if your grandchildren have the blood of the Kikuyus, here is a song. And the song is telling us, hey, you know what, the Kikuyus, don't worry that people are against you. Don't worry that people talk ill about you. You are a Kikuyu, yes, and God will even continue to bless you. The song continues to say, my people, these children that we have given birth with, that we have given birth to, let us teach them about farming. You know, this is a Kikuyu song which is encouraging us. The song is even talking about that before we used to have a lot of cattle, a lot of goats, you know, in the Kikuyu lands. But we know what happened during Moi time. There was no business for our milk. So the Kikuyus or the Gema community, our cows and goats, they reduced and reduced and reduced. You know, it was like there was no reproduction when it came to animals, because Moi had other plans. He wanted, where he is from, the Rift Valley areas, he wanted those areas to be full of cattle. But it's right, he did that for us. He did that, you know, but it doesn't matter. Here is a song telling us, you know what? Even if our animals, the cattle and the goats, were taken away from us, God still gave us the fertile lands. So let us teach our children, our grandchildren, farming. You know, let us be those parents that can encourage our children that farming can also bring money, that you don't have to go to the Arabic countries to suffer. If you have a piece of land, you can start a chicken farm in that land. You can plant all kind of vegetables, which they can grow and you can make a living from it. I always tell a story about myself, that me and my siblings, we all went to very good schools those years in Kenya. And why? My parents were not rich, but they had farm. They had something we call a piece of land that my dad could cultivate all kind of vegetables, and then he could take to one of the markets called Marigiti in Nairobi. And from there, he made sure that we were able to go to nice schools because he respected our fertile lands. That's why some of us, for example, who are in the diasporas and we help our family members, we tell them, hey, start businesses in the local areas. If you are able, and you have if you have a piece of land and someone is able to assist you, or you yourself, you can assist yourself to put pipes of water so that the plants can get enough water when you're cultivating, do it. Our parents did it. Our grandparents did it. Why not you? The song is telling us, you know what? It's high time for us as parents, us as grandparents, to encourage our youths how fertile our lands are, to encourage them to start farming. That it came this thing that somebody thought, oh, I have a piece of land, but I'm poor. Why? You have a piece of land. That's the biggest gift somebody can get. Because from that piece of land, you can make a big business out of it. The song continues to say, most things that are consumed in Kenya, you should know that those things rely on us. That means we have enough fertile lands, and remember, there is a producer and a consumer. And this song is talking about us Kikuyus as being the producers. This is a very, very important. I really love this verse because it encourages, it tells us, we the gamer community, we are like the producers in Kenya. And it could be that's why most people don't like us. It could be that's one of the reasons people think, oh, the Kikuyus love money. Oh, the Kikuyus are greedy of money. Oh, the Kikuyus. Hey, in this song, it's telling us, we the gamer community, I can talk on behalf of Kikuyus because I'm a Kikuyu, that we the Kikuyus, we are the producers. The others are consumers. So it means if we are the producers, we really have to work hard, because if it's vegetables, we have to produce. If it's coffee, we have to produce. If it's tea, we have to produce. If it's potatoes, we have to produce. If it's, call it, name it, we have to produce. We know the Kisis, they're also Bantus. They produce a lot of bananas. We love the bananas. Most of them, also in the Kikuyu lands, we also have bananas. Like in my village in Luakabete, every farm has bananas, But we know that we are blessed just to have a piece of land, fertile. And I do remember growing up those years that our parents, our great grandparents, they used to take so good care of our lands. I do remember that if you had goats or cows, the manure, they used to make sure they take that manure to the lands. They used to use it as fertilizer. And all the crops used to grow so well, so nicely, so naturally. This song is telling us, please, let us keep on taking care of our fertile lands, because God gave to us. We, the gamer community, we are God's children. And they could be, that's why a lot of people don't like us. Could be, that's one of the reasons. Maybe people are jealous of us because we've always taken good care of our fertile lands. The song continues to say, the name Kikuyu means voice of God. Let me repeat again. The name Kikuyu, it's the voice of God. Well, all these political wars that you see in Kenya, many never fought during Mau Mau time, as our forefathers did. This verse is talking about when we, the Kikuyus or the gamer community, talk about Mau Mau. I don't know any, like the people who are my age, I'm 50 years, I don't know anybody who never have a history about their parents or the grandparents who are in the Mau Mau. And that's why we, the Kikuyus, we stand firmly and say, yes, our forefathers, our great grandparents, our parents, some of the older ones, the very older ones, they were Mau Mau. They fought for the country. That's why if you're a Kikuyu, never feel ashamed to talk about it. You know, some people here, when the Kikuyus talk about, hey, we are Mau Mau, they think we're just tearing just to make sure that we ignore other tribes. No, we talk about it because it's the truth. We don't want to say that other tribes were not there, but we are talking about the majority. Most people that we know of were in the Mau Mau, and that's why the colonizers were targeting the Kikuyus and the Gema community. They were a target because they were the majority who were fighting the British. They were the ones that made sure we got our country back from the British, and that is a fact. And nobody should tell you otherwise. So if you're there, if you're a gamer, be proud and stand firmly and says, yes, we fought for Kenya, we fought for our country. And there's nothing to apologize about that. You should always stand firmly and say, yes, we, the Gimba community, fought for our country. And that's why we make sure we take care of our country. That's why, for example, most of the Kikuyus or the Gimba community who live in the diaspora, they build back home. That's why they make sure they come, they work in the diaspora, and they build home, back home in Kenya, because we love our country. We are not those kind of people who just leave Kenya and come and just forget that we have a country called Kenya. We are not. Most of the Gema communities, they even never agreed to give the citizenship. You know, I do remember those years when I came to the diaspora, you know, those years, so many years ago. You know, in 1994, around there, 1994, I do remember that when I first went to Germany those years, it was after a while you had to give away your Kenyan citizenship, for example, to be a German citizenship. But I know someone like me, I was a young girl, but believe me, I said, no way. Some people are asking, hey, come on, don't you want to have a German passport? Those years, it was a big deal to have a German passport, just because I love my country so deep as a Kenyan, so much love of our country that our forefathers fought so hard. I was holding my passport like gold. I was like, no way. As long as I get residence for Germany, I'm fine with that. And believe you me, I stayed for years and years and years in Germany as a resident. The reason? Because I wanted to keep my Kenyan citizenship, you know. And later on, when I moved from Germany to Sweden, and then in 2010, they changed. They changed the rules that as a Kenyan, you can have two passports. And that's why later on, I looked for a Swedish passport, you know, which I got. So I still have my Kenyan, so it's two dual citizenship. But those years I lived in Germany, it was like I was dying. Sometimes I met some Kenyans who had given away their citizenship before 2010, and I used to ask them, can you, how? You know, I would never, not for any money in this world, not for any gold in this world, give away my Kenyan citizenship. No way. So I don't understand how some people could just easily just give away their city, like I'm not a Kenyan anymore. Take it. Give me the citizenship of Germany, of America, of UK, of I don't know. I don't understand how. Because for me, I have the pain of how my grandfather, you know, my late grandfather, the dad from my late mom, used to leap. He used to leap like this. He was from Muranga. He was called Haron Mwangi. He used to have a lot of coffee plantations and tea. And he used to leap like this. And he always used to tell a story. He used to have a bullet on his leg during the Mau Mau. He was one of the Mau Mau fighters as well. And he got shot, but they told him where the bullet was, they had to cut off his leg, and he refused. So he lived all his life. You know, when I just thought about that when I was those years as a young girl in Germany, there was no way I could have given away my Kenyan citizenship. That was like betraying my late grandfather. When I remember the stories of my late dad, how he grew up without his father. His father went to fight. You know, from Loakabeta, he went to fight and never returned home. My grandmother raised 3 children on her own, 3 kids as a single mother because her husband never returned and never saw his body. When I thought of all those things, that's why, for example, for me, there was no way I would have given away my Kenyan citizenship. No way. So for you, if you're there, if you gave away your Kenyan citizenship and up to today you've never regained it, don't you feel guilty? Don't you feel bad? You know, sometimes when I hear some of the people yapping around here on internet, and I know very well they even don't have their Kenyan citizenship, they even never regained back after the 2010 constitution, I just put away. I don't want to listen to them because those are some of the people we call betrayers. Yes. Anyway, let's continue on with the song. The song says, all these political wars you see in Kenya, many never fought for never helped in the as Mau Mau, as we were fighting to get our country back. Others don't care about our Kenyan fertile soil. Can you imagine? You have a piece of land and it's just staying there. You don't cultivate on it. You don't do anything with it. Why? Anyway, the song continues to say, Kikuyus should be careful about curses. We chased away the colony, the British colony, with the curses of our mouths. Our grandparents, they left curses with the mouth. They said that may the Kenyan soil neglect them. That means neglect them. It means whatever they could have planted, it wouldn't have done well. Whatever they could have touched couldn't have done well. It was like curse in the mouth, from the mouth, you know. Our forefathers used to tell these stories and we used to think it's a joke. It is real. Because the British, as you know, they had come to Kenya, taken all the fertile lands, made them their own. And that's why up to today, even if they left some of those big lands to some of these big families, those lands will one day go back to the children of our Mau Mau fighters, because their blood won't go in vain. The song continues to say, our God is still at the top of Mount Kenya. That's what we, the Kikuyus, used to believe. He spoke to us. God spoke to us through his voice. And God said, the far distance your eyes can see, I give it to you and your generation. The fertile land and animals. And no one will ever vacate you by force. You know, this is a very, very nice words that God said. That's what our forefathers used to tell us. And even in this song, it's written that God spoke to them and said, you look the very far. It means you can go at the end of the world. You as a gamer person. That's why we always joke and say, wherever you go, you'll find a Kikuyu. Because God said, wherever you go, I'll open doors for you. Wherever you go, I'll make that area fertile. Wherever you go, I'll make sure you succeed. Those were the words that God spoke to the Kikuyu communities, according to this song. That even when you touch soil, wherever you are, it will be fertile. And it's very true, because even for me, all the years I've lived in Germany or even here in Sweden, when I'm at the countryside and I plant whatever, it comes up during summertime. It comes up so well. So I always say, like, my hands, God has blessed my hands. Maybe the same words, because I'm a Kikuyu. Hey, so if you're Kikuyu and you have never planted, if you have a piece of land, even if you are here in the diaspora, please make sure you plant. I have a very good friend of mine. She's from Kenya. She lives in Stockholm and at the countryside. And every summertime, she plants skuma wiki, kales. She plants maize. She plants spinach. She plants coriander, dania. She plants everything. And everything She has every year such a good harvest. Every year, and some of those like the green vegetables, the spinach, the skuma wikis, everything. And she's so generous that every time she cuts and share it among us, she shares it among us. She gives us, we can freeze it for a long time during winter time. We still eat her skuma wikis and because hey, she always say, you know what? I'm a Kikuyu and my hands are blessed. And I always tell her, yes, my sister, that's true. So if you're there, if you have a piece of land, it doesn't matter where you're living, whether you're in America, whether you're in whatever part of the world you are at, you have a piece of land. We call them colony, like here in Sweden. If you can rent outside or the countryside, you can rent a piece of land, and if you're able to cultivate, do it, because our hands are blessed. Our forefathers told about it. They talked about that we, the Kikuyus, we, the Gema community, God blessed our hands. That whatever we'll be touching will be success. That any vegetables we're gonna grow, they will produce. The song continues to say, my Kikuyu community, let me remind you, Kenyatta's curse. Because Kenyatta, the first president of Kenya, he left a curse, and he said, the one that will destroy the wealthy Kenyans, ati mudori okageria kunina itonga cia Kenya, the one that will destroy the wealthy Kenyans, or think to sell our Kenyan land with money, mudori okageria kwendia fururi na besha, will be destroyed. His ears and eyes will be destroyed. God will make him or her to be mad. Ate mundu ucio akoimwo ni daimono kiongo. As we say in my Kikuyu language, mundu uria ukageria kunina itonga cia Kenya, mundu uria ukageria kwendia bururi na besha, mundu ucio ni akaninwo agatuika gitumumu, ndakaiguaga, akoimwo ni ngoma. That's what this song says. And for example, we can look, for example, some of the things at the moment, which, for example, President Ruto is doing. Some of you will think they are normal things. But if you are a Kikuyu, if your grandparents, if your great-grandparents used to tell you stories about Mau Mau time, what our Mau Mau forefathers went through, those who are still alive, they were those who are left to tell us stories. You'll know what I'm talking about. That if a person will try to sell Kenya, exchange our land with money, that person is cursed. You've already been seeing what President Ruto has been trying to do with our airport. He tried to sell it. He's trying to sell so many parts, making deals, I don't know, for 30 years with foreigners. That's betraying our forefathers who fought for our country. There is no way, if Ruto's dad or Ruto's grandparents fought for this country, there is no way he would dare do such a thing. There is no way. He would have the pain. He would feel the pain the forefathers went through while fighting the British. So there you are. If you see some of the behaviors President Ruto is behaving, maybe he already went mad and you Kenyans don't know already, because there was a curse left that the person who will ever try to destroy the wealthy Kenyans, the wealthy Kikuyus, the wealthy Kambas, the wealthy Embus, the wealthy Merus, that person will go mad. Those stories were told among us, the Kikuyus, by our grandparents, by our parents, by our great-grandparents. And that's why this history has continued to be told with no shame. We have to continue to inform our children, our great-grandchildren about our history. I'm doing it here in English because not every Kikuyu child understands Kikuyu language. We know that nowadays we're in 2025. and things have changed, especially like for us who are in the diaspora. Not all our children speaks the Kikuyu language. I remember like when my daughter was young, I tried so much. But later on, all her friends were only speaking German, so she really forgot. She just know the basic I love you, negwedete, just simple words she knows, but not this deep Kikuyu. And I know I'm not the only one. There are even those Kikuyus in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in the cities, Nakuru. They only speak English and Kiswahili. They don't understand the Kikuyu language. So they don't understand all this amazing history we have of us, the Kikuyus. And I'm here to tell it. I'm here to make sure that our children will get to learn our history nicely about these songs. Because we have so many important messages in our Kikuyu songs. Messages that can never ignored. Messages that can teach us, our children, our great-grandchildren, our generations to come. They will be taught a lot of stuff with these songs. They will learn a lot of history that would never have been told anywhere else apart from these amazing songs. And the song continues to say, there are a lot of prophets in Kikuyu community or in Gema community. They tell the society all sort of things. We know that nowadays there are so many fake prophets. In this song, it talks about prophets. They could call themselves bishops or pastors or apostles or I don't know what. But all these church people, as they call themselves prophets, they tell the society all sorts of things. They lie a lot to the society. They tell a lot of fairy tales to the society. When they unite, they tell whatever they want the society to hear, not the real message from God. You know, this song mentions about Mogo Kefiro, as we used to call him, Mogo wa Kefiro. I do remember growing up, I used to hear the history of Mogo wa Kefiro, that he used to foretell what will come, what will happen, the future. And everything used to come pass by. Everything he used to say used to happen. Mogo wa Kefiro. That was a real one. That he was really being sent to deliver God's message. He used to advise the Kikuyus in advance. The Gema community used to tell them what will come. If you go back to some of the books that are written about him, you'll be surprised that a lot of things he foretold came to pass. But for nowadays, you should be very careful when you go to listen to different kind of prophets, because there are so many fake prophets nowadays in Kenya. Prophets that are misleading our people. Prophets that are lying. Prophets that are just telling fairy tales and nothing but lies. This song is talking about that it's high time we have to be careful, because Mugo wa Kefiro told us a lot of things. And because we already have the messages, a lot of messages from Mugo wa Kefiro, we have it already. So the only thing we can do, we as the Gema community, is to wait for God's decision. Because God is still with us, the Gema community. That even with all the things we are going through, be patient. God is there working for us. God is there on our side. And nobody should tell you otherwise. Nobody should tell you to go the wrong directions. And nobody, for example, the Gema community, unite. Let us be one. When the Gema community is one, God is happy. When the Gema community is one, we have the power. When the Gema community is one, then our rest Bantu community will join us. Because we all together, the Bantus, we are unbeatable. Put this in your mind, that the Gema community must be one, that we should not be divided, because with any division, God don't like it. Because God made sure that we, the sons and daughters of Mobi and Kikuyu, are one. That we, the daughters of Mobi and Kikuyu, unite. So that when it comes to any elections, For example, in Kenya, there will be a general election in 2027, if not before. We have to make sure that we vote in one basket. We have to make sure that nobody will divide you and me. We have to make sure we set good example so that the rest Bantu communities can join us, the gamer, and we will be unbeatable because we have the numbers. We know that many people are against us. We know that we are not loved. We know that the gamer communities are used. For example, with this story with this lady, Duta, we all know what I'm talking about. She was being used. How do we know if that Njoroge is someone with a fake name? How do we know if that Njoroge is maybe even someone from other tribe giving himself a different name? It's high time that we, the gamer community, we don't allow our children to be used again by the betrayers. Because even in the gamer community, there are those betrayers, people that will betray us, but they also are in the gamer community. We saw it during Mau Mau time. We also what happened to late Dedan Kimathi. He was betrayed by the people around him. Same like when Jesus Christ was crucified. Those that betrayed Jesus were next to him. Judas Iscariot was just a disciple, very close. So there are those who will betray us, yes, but we have to mark them. And it's high time we tell our Kenyan youth, don't allow yourself to be used. God has blessed us with fertile lands. God has said, I've blessed my people, the gamers. Work hard. Do not take shortcuts. Shortcuts in life lead to death. Shortcuts in life are dangerous. Work properly. Work hard. Don't take shortcuts. Don't do illegal jobs. When I listen to some of these songs, they're very touching. And that's why most of the times you can see when the Kikuyus hear some of these nice, amazing songs, they jump and they are overjoyed because these songs are talking to us. The spirits of our forefathers are talking to us through these songs. We can hear their cries for how hard they fought. They fought so hard for us to get Kenya back from the British. And there we are. That's why nobody should joke around with our country. Nobody should play around with our motherland, Kenya. It doesn't matter who it is, even if it's Ruto, he shouldn't play with our motherland. It's a country our forefathers died for. It's a country that so much blood was shed to get it back from the British. So it's nothing to joke around with. I think it's high time as a Kenyan, you have to appreciate. We have to appreciate our country. We have to set good examples as Kenyans. Let us not be Kenyans who are doing things with drugs. It's damaging the name of our country. It's killing so many lives because drugs are bad. It's not healthy at all. Let us be Kenyans with dignity. And that's why, for example, with this story of Duta, I think it has to be dark. She has to be forced. She has to say those 6 names. Those of you who listened, the last clip that Duta spoke, she said, there are 4 government officials and 2 well-known ladies, all 6 people who are in these, they are cartels, coordinate, syndicate. She has to tell the names of those 6 people so that everybody in the whole world got to know who is that person who is killing our youth. Who is that person? It's so many stories that have been going on, especially with the Kikuyus. You hear stories in Dubai. You hear stories in China. Oh, that Kikuyu, that Kikuyu, that Kikuyu, hey, gotten drugs. It's crazy. It's not right. We know that we, the Kikuyus, we are very hardworking. We work hard, but we work properly. We do the right things. And just a few are spoiling our names. It's high time we say no, we'll allow that. And it's high time that steps need to be taken. But we know that the judiciary in Kenya, there's no justice in our judiciary system, unfortunately. But still, because of the power of the social media, those people that have been using Nduta and all the other Kenyans that we've had stories of for years and years now, they all have to be exposed so that their pictures, their names, everywhere, they are shown. That shame, they have to face that shame. They have to be known who they are. We cannot hide criminals because those are criminals. People who are involving youths with drugs, those are criminals. It's high time they start to be exposed. Nobody should hide any of them because they are told that they are government officials. So what? They are giving a bad name for our country. They are giving a bad name for us. For example, the Kikuyus. When I know how many Kikuyus work day in, day out. When I remember when my parents were still alive, how hardworking they were. When I remember so many other parents still works hard. And then there comes a few people just because of their selfish, egoistic, greedy behavior. They decide to take shortcuts in life to sell drugs so that they can get quick money. And they decide to use our boys and girls. It's high time we say enough is enough. You should feel the pain. You as Kenyan parents, in whole, if you're a Kenyan, you should feel the urge. You should feel the pain. Because right now, when the name is told a Kenyan, even nobody looks what tribe. They just hear, oh, Kenyan, Vietnam, drugs. People like me who've never seen drugs close to me in my life with my 50 years of age. But there are people already damaging, spoiling the name of Kenya. I see you, Betty Jane. Thank you for coming. Welcome. You know, it's high time we say it's enough. We have to expose all the criminals in Kenya. The exposing does more damage than even the cases being taken to courts. Because in in Kenyan courts, there's no justice. But imagine what shame it is. It's a great shame when you're exposed and the whole world see you. You're being told you've done this and this and that. That shame will eat you for the rest of your life. We saw the shame, for example, this Peter Kay. We heard that he's been released for 3 months or something like that. His case will be heard, I think, in June or something like that. But still, if you got to see his face and everything, where will he be walking? He has to hide, not to be seen. Because wherever he walks, you'll be asked, hey, what happened? Why did you do this? It's a shame. And that's the way, because of the power of the social media, that's why we have to start exposing all those criminals. So we should not hide. For example, those 6 people that were there in the deal, syndicates, criminals. We heard that Nduta, for example, she's afraid of her life because of this NDA, non-disclosure agreement. You know, it's something that the criminals do. You are told if you ever expose, we will eliminate that one and that one and that one and that one. That's why for Kenyan news, please don't take shortcuts. I always say this. I've always talked about this day in, day out. Shortcuts in life are bad. Do not take shortcuts. Be patient. Work hard. I can talk this, for example, of our Kikuyu community. With this song, it's telling us our hands are blessed. Work hard. Do the right thing, but don't take shortcuts. Stop criminal jobs. It's not right. You always have to be careful. Oh, where am I? Hey, will I be caught? This and that. There is no life. Anyway, what can I say with this song, which is an amazing song? We've heard that Mogo Wakafiro already talked about everything, what would come, what will come, and what will happen. So stop listening to the so many fake prophets in Kenya. Work hard and let's wait for God. God will make the decision. What can I say? This is a very well-known song. It's an amazing song. The song, most of the Kikuyus knows it. It's called Idwe Twarekuo. Idwe Twarekuo by Joseph Kamaro, late Joseph Kamaro. An amazing, beautiful song. You know, sometimes when I write these songs from Kikuyu to English, I really enjoy it because I'm always like, oh my God, all the things that they talk about in these songs, it's real life. It's things that are happening. So what can we do? For example, for us, the Gima community, I think what we can do is to stay strong. We should not allow anybody to really intimidate us and make us do things which are wrong. Let us hold together. I really salute, for example, all the Gima community that even after Gashagwa was put out of the government, we remained calm. We sang our songs. We looked up to God and we said, God, we leave it to you. Now, when they removed Dindinyoro, we do the same. We continue to sing. We look up to God. We tell God everything you're seeing. We tell God, God, we will not fight on the streets. We will not go damaging businesses of people. We will not throw stones because that's a shaming. We, the Gema community, we, the Kikuyus, we were not born that way to throw stones and, things that are embarrassing. We can never lower ourselves so low. So are the Kikuyus. And that's why when I stand and I say, I'm proud to be a Kikuyu. If you're a Meru, if you're a Embu, if you're a Kamba, stand and say, you have to be proud that you don't go throwing stones on the streets, that you don't go damaging businesses of other people. Because we have dignity. Our grandparents had dignity. Our forefathers had dignity. Let us continue to keep that dignity as the Gema community. We have to make sure that we do the right thing. As I've always said, God up there is seeing everything. God up there will fight for us the war. The only thing we have to do is unite, that nobody and nothing will come between us. If the Gema community decide who they want for 2027 to be the president of Kenya, it doesn't matter from which tribe, we have to be one. And then the Bantus have to join us. We all have to make sure we, the Bantus, and the Bantus, as I said, the Luya, the Kisi, the Mijikendas, so also in the coast we have Mijikendas, they're also Bantus. We have to make sure we all join together so that we make sure we get the positions which we believe we should get. Because if we have leaders who don't care about our country, if we have leaders who are selling Kenya anyhow, carelessly, because their parents or their grandparents didn't fight for the independence of Kenya, we cannot allow that. Then it's better. The community can say, hey, why? Why only that tribe always want to be leaders and this? Because we will protect the country. We will make sure even the land you have is not sold. We will make sure that what was left by our great-grandparents is still belonging to the generations and generations of our Kenyan people. That's why we have to make sure that we stick together, we decide who we want, and when that person comes into that position, we have to check nicely that leader again. And we have to learn from the story of President Ruto, because that was a big, big mistake. For us, the Gima community, to give President Ruto our votes, me being one. But I blame two people. First, I blame Uhuru Kenyatta. He brought us Ruto during 2013. And second, I blame Rigathi Gachagua, because he said he's a good man, he's changed as well. Those two. That's why my vote went to Ruto and many of us. But that mistake should be a lesson that all of us should learn, that we will never allow somebody who don't care about the blood that was shed by our forefathers, someone who is selling Kenya just like it's his own property, someone who he don't care. So it's high time we say we need to put people who love the country, people who will die for the country, our motherland Kenya. Those are the kind of people we will give those high positions. Not just anybody. Not just anybody coming telling us, hey, I'm hustler. Hey, I grew up with no food. Hey, walking with the... I see you, Monica Jongo. Thank you for coming. Welcome, welcome. We have to make sure that the people we give those high positions are the real Kenyans who knows and believe that our country must be protected. Someone who believes that there is no way you can sell our country to foreigners just like that. You know, even places, for example, like Thailand. Sometimes I used to go to holidays in Thailand. You as a foreigner, you can never own a piece of land in Thailand. You can own a house, but not a land. Never. If you are not a Thai citizen, you cannot own any land. You can go buy a house, a villa for millions, but the land where that house is standing will never belong to you. They protect their land. And in Kenya, what happens? What happens in Kenya? So it's high time we have to start to protect nicely. And it's not with any excuse. We have to protect nicely what was left by our grandparents. I somehow thank a little bit the Kikuyus, because it's very difficult. You find like the Kikuyus selling their family land that was for their great-great-grandfathers, great-great-grandparents. It's never sold. It's a taboo. They hold it. There's no way you can sell that. It's passed through generations and generations and generations to come. And that's the way it should be. Because so much blood was shed for our country. We should feel that pain, what our forefathers went through. We should respect our motherland, our country, our lands. That's why I really do respect the Kikuyus who always work so hard. I see someone like Nancy Pira, where she has a piece of land. When she tries to plant this and that, continue, Nancy. God will protect you. God, your hands are fertile. You are a Kikuyu. Whatever you touch, the song tells us, we are blessed. Whatever you touch will be fertile. Whatever you start to plant, it will grow. It will come good, because we are blessed. So there you are. If you really like the song, please remember to subscribe for me. I'll appreciate. You can like, comment, and share as well. I really will appreciate. Before we wind up, let me see what Nancy said. Let me see. Nancy Higasheri. Yes, my real name is Jerry. Yes. Good morning, everyone from Kenya. Long time Gasheri, missing you, Sanda. Long time, but soon I'll be fully back. Yes, Nancy, welcome back as well. Yeah, there was a time I had gone away. I think for 5 months I wasn't posting. Betty Jane saying hey, NCK, and Monica Jungo saying hi, Jerry. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really thank you a lot for coming. And I always go live from Monday to Thursday, and from 10 o'clock Kenyan time, and in Sweden time it's 8, Swedish or German time it's at 8 o'clock. So I'll be back again tomorrow, same time, and we'll continue with this journey of scrutinizing and analyzing songs. I've been doing that quite for a while now. So if you haven't watched my playlist, if you go to NCK 2310, you'll see my playlist and you can play whatever. You will see the kind of songs I've scrutinized and analyzed. I really love what I do. It's fun because we get to know, what do these Kikuyu songs talk about? What do they teach us? Can we learn something? Because our artists, they're all so blessed. So there we go. I thank you all so much for coming. And for those who are at the back as well, I thank you all. And we'll be back again tomorrow, same time. Thank you, and stay blessed, and bye-bye.